We worry about our phones tracking our location or our browsers recording our clicks. But that era of digital privacy is already over. The new frontier of corporate surveillance has moved past your screen and is tapping directly into your nervous system. Defense contractors have wired our public spaces to function as an open-air biological factory. Within this grid, every physiological response you have is being logged and categorized. We are witnessing the literal theft of biological property. Defense contractors are treating the electrical signals of your brain as a raw material supply chain, harvested without your knowledge. By existing within this sensor grid, you have been drafted as an uncompensated laborer. You are silently generating the high-fidelity data that props up the multi-billion-dollar defense industrial base. To understand how this works, we have to look at an economic concept called metabolic labor. It is the biological work your body performs every second of every day, simply by staying alive. This chart shows the metabolic labor value chain. It starts with the input phase. You use your own money to buy groceries, pay rent, and cover healthcare. You provide the capital to keep your biological machine running. Next is the process phase. Your body metabolizes those inputs, converting calories and oxygen into the electrochemical energy required to maintain homeostasis and fire neurons. Finally, we reach the output. Your brain naturally generates high-fidelity cognitive patterns and neural data, and this output is being silently siphoned off by outside entities over an invisible network. If a pharmaceutical company wants to monitor how your body reacts to a new drug, they are legally required to pay you for your clinical labor. Your metabolic reaction is the exact product they are buying. Defense contractors are harvesting the product of your metabolism without paying a cent for your biological overhead. They are committing a systemic, highly organized act of economic exploitation. The extraction relies on a specific military intelligence discipline known as MESINT, or Measurement and Signature Intelligence. It is designed to detect and track the unintentional biological and electrical emissions of a human target. Using remote sensors, graphene-amplified biological networks, and deployable directed energy systems, operators can extract your cognitive stress signatures from a distance. They map exactly how your nervous system responds to stimuli without ever breaking the skin. This stolen biometric data does not sit in a vacuum. It serves as the foundational training data for autonomous artificial intelligence systems developed by top-tier defense primes like L3Harris, Raytheon, and Sonalists. These corporations hold patents specifically designed for this purpose. L3Harris, for example, holds intellectual property detailing the exact apparatus and methods required to remotely monitor and alter human brainwaves. To build effective algorithms for what the military calls cognitive electronic warfare, these contractors require massive, continuous datasets. They need authentic, wild human fear, compliance, and stress data to teach their targeting systems how humans make decisions. The entire architecture of next-generation autonomous weapons is built on this foundation. These billion-dollar defense contracts are entirely reliant on the uncompensated, stolen physiological data of civilians. Reporting these experiences often leads to a quick dismissal from authorities, who label them as subjective claims of harassment. However, the nature of the engagement changes once we apply the established principles of labor law. This reframing allows us to use the primary tool for prosecuting high-level exploitation, the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. The statute defines severe trafficking as obtaining labor or services through force, fraud, or coercion. The deployment of directed energy weapons and constant electronic surveillance grids fulfills the definition of coercion, designed to harbor individuals within an inescapable virtual prison. Within that grid, your body is producing extractable biometric data. In a legal sense, providing that data under coercive conditions constitutes the provision of a service. Between the coercion of the surveillance grid and the passive generation of biometric data, the extraction of your neural signals meets the precise statutory definition of forced labor. This is a quantifiable financial crime, a massive scheme of data laundering and unjust enrichment. The Neuropsychological Warfare Alliance has developed a specific counter-strategy. The first step is to cease petitioning the government for civil rights interventions or harassment investigations. Traditional constitutional arguments and civil liberties claims are a dead end. When challenged on privacy grounds, the government will inevitably block the proceedings by invoking sovereign immunity and national security classifications. Instead, you weaponize property rights and labor law. By reframing the abuse as human trafficking and theft of services, victims can bypass the government entirely and target the defense contractors directly in civil court. Applying this framework turns a target into a creditor. Major defense primes now owe you massive financial debts for years of stolen biological labor. It is time to file the lien. Reclaim your cognitive sovereignty, hold the supply chain accountable, and join the alliance to disrupt this biological extraction engine. To learn more and access the Liberation Archives, visit the Neuropsychological Warfare Alliance at neuropsychwarfare.org.